What's up, everybody? Welcome to the You versus You podcast. I'm Bailey.
I'm Lucas. We got a shout out from Russ.
Yeah, we got a shout out from Russ, guys. Stockholm Syndrome, You versus You. He just forgot to add the word podcast at the end. Yeah,
But
he's gonna pay for that.
He had to pay for our copyright on our name.
Yeah, so he's gonna fund these next few episodes, which is dope. Shout out the homie. Shout out the homie Russell. Anyway, episode 10. Oh, that was the worst.
Like in Dragon Ball.
Bro, don't even play like you know what's up with Dragon Ball.
Bro,
because I know what's up with, dude, I literally...
Name 4 characters.
Are you kidding me?
Name 4 characters.
Dude, I can name all of them.
Name 4.
Okay, I'm gonna name all the worst ones so
No,
you know.
4.
So you know that I really know what I'm talking
4.
about. Mr. Popo, Krillin, Yamcha, and hold on, let me name another whack one. I'm thinking of the I'll smack you. I'm thinking of the fat guy with the sword. I think his name's like Yazirobe, but
All right, I believe you.
yeah, Boo. But yeah, don't even play with me like that.
Tattoo of Fat Boo.
Dude, I was on the register and I saw someone, I ranked someone up, and he had a tattoo of Vegeta and his son, and Vegeta and Trunks when Vegeta's like Majin out before he knocks out Trunks, and he's like holding him, and this looked super dope. I was like, bro.
Okay, real quick. I could edit this out, by the way.
No, we'll get it in a minute. So
I have like Vegeta's fucking hairline in the back of my head. So
Someone in high school, I'm gonna edit that out because I cussed.
We both know you're not gonna edit it out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
All right, guys. So today, episode 10, we got a super special one. Bro, I did not smear that one. Oh, we got a super special one today.
So bad.
What?
From last time.
Oh. We got a super special one today, guys. So
about anime, as you could tell by the first 3 minutes.
yeah, thank you for wanted to say thank you for all the subscribers. If you're getting any value from this show and you're still with us, you're still sharing, thank you. And please share it with a friend. Spread the message, spread the positive message, spread the personal development, spread the growth, the progress. That's what we're here for. Share it with a friend, subscribe, like, follow us on Instagram, the You versus You podcast, and let's get right into it. Today we're talking about a this is a very common phrase that you hear as we progress through life, and that is, I have to see it before I could believe it. Right? What are some instances that someone would say that?
Like when I told this guy knocked out Mike Tyson the other day.
Yeah,
I'll see it before
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. And
just with anything, honestly.
yeah, the first thing I thought of was an MLM, a multi-level marketing company, whether it's Forex, Primerica, whatever. And just because I thought of that because a lot of people consider those, they think they're scams, they think they're a waste of money, whatever. And so a lot of those words that they say are, I'll believe it when I see it. Or even anything. If you're selling a course, about a business course, I'll believe it when I see it. If you tell somebody your goals and it's like a very extreme, enormous goal, they'll say, I believe it when I see it.
Basically anything that's not like normal to their circumstances or something that hasn't happened to either them or someone close to them. They're like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yes. Typically, when that comes out of somebody's mouth, that is a strong indicator that they do not have the same belief in themselves that you have in yourself. Because if they did, then they wouldn't question its possibility. They wouldn't question the reality inside that sentence. So the reason that we're talking about this today is because when you are embarking on something that might challenge some people's perspective of reality and would cause them to say something like that, the truth is it doesn't work that way. In real life, in this life, in business, in relationships, in fitness, no matter what it is, the truth is you have to believe before you see. And this is a super common saying in um, personal development books, and that's literally the title of Think and Grow Rich. It's not grow rich, throw
No,
rich,
think rich.
throw riches. It's not grow rich and then realize, oh, I could grow rich. No, it's think and grow rich. For example, we're just talking about Russ. Russ's personal development book is what? It's all inside your head. And then we could go on and on with the titles of these personal development books. We could go on and on with all of the advice from people that have been successful, from Conor McGregor talking about how he saw himself knock out these people and exactly how he was going to do it before the exact same thing happened in a fight, whether you call it the law of attraction, whether you call it manifestation, whether you call it businessmen having affirmations, driving past. Oh, Drake would when Drake didn't have nothing, he would be out with the girl and he would drive past this certain neighborhood, the higher up neighborhood, and he would tell her, oh, that's my future house, like I have it on hold. And the truth is, he would actually point at different houses, like it wasn't just one, but it was just like he wanted that lifestyle. And he would drive around with when he was out with the girl, and he'd say, oh, that's gonna be my house. That's another example. He believed it before he saw it. And people have it backwards. They think you have to see it to believe it. They have to see proof. And why is it that way, Lucas?
Just because people
are stupid.
Pretty much, honestly. People just have really like bad mentalities, like, oh, why would that happen to you, or why would that happen to me? Like, what makes you special? What makes you think you could get that? And especially when it's something so extreme, like, oh, I want to be a billionaire, and they don't know anybody making over $100,000. They're like, that's not real. Like, that doesn't happen to people. Mm-hmm. So just honestly, probably being like a product of like kind of like their environment, and 100%. Just seeing like maybe what their family has done for a living, what the highest things that maybe their cousins have achieved, which probably is like that $100,000 mark, and they just broke it, and that to them is rich. So they think, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't think like that, so I don't know like what makes them think like that. I think it might just be like insecurity too.
Does your family think like that?
No. Like think like what?
Like see it before they believe it, nervous taking risks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, mine too. So do you think what about that and middle and lower classes? What's that connection, that mentality and the lower and middle classes?
To why they have that mentality?
Yeah, because I mean, we've both read Robert Kiyosaki's books. That's that's why we started. Yeah. We read we're like, hey, you're reading that? Or like, hey, you want to start a podcast in 5 years? Okay.
Once we're out of high school for 2 years, you want to start a podcast?
Yeah. That's a lot of that's a very middle. In the book, what Robert Kiyosaki says is that it's not the passing down of physical riches is what keeps families rich. It's the passing down of knowledge. And it's not necessarily like specific knowledge on how to tactically do one thing, even though I'm sure that's very helpful. But even more than that, it's the passing down of a mentality, of a mindset that literally anything you can conceive that you can accomplish with the right attitude, action, and consistency, you can do it. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that. And that same, most of the time, that same thought process is not passed down in middle class, lower class families. And not that these families are saying, oh, you can't do that, you can never do that. But the energy is different.
They just say it's like not realistic, and you should do what's safe and what's right or whatever. Like that's why.
And if that wasn't
preach to everybody,
I was gonna say the exact same thing. If that wasn't the case, then why is it those families that preach college and then getting the stereotypical
like doctor lawyer.
That's why. It's because that's the best case scenario with the least risk, right? Going through school, you can literally be in school for however long you need to be in school. In most cases, I know Like if you want to be in the medical field, you can only take these classes so much times. But even then, if you fail once, you have the opportunity to try again. But I was gonna say the exact same thing. That's why college is, and if you don't, like my family was, and I think you said your mom was the same. My family got nervous when I wasn't going to school, and especially because I was actually very successful in school. Like I was good at.
Yeah, so was I.
Anyway, I was good at getting good grades and studying and taking notes and doing the homework and passing the tests and all that good stuff. But I was like, Mom, I'm just built different. I'm constructed alternatively. Formed in a foreign fashion.
And then they were like, we understand now. we got it.
I got you, G. So and to expand on that, it's not that, let's say if you're in a situation and your family is telling you the same thing and now you're aware that that isn't the best route. It's just a route. Everybody's different. There are people that are great lawyers, doctors. We absolutely need them. They serve an incredible purpose on the planet. There's nothing wrong with that. What we're saying is stay true to yourself and do not let anybody get in the middle of that at all. You already cussed, right? All right. We both know you're not going to edit it out, but
I can.
No matter who the hell is in, that's not a bad word. No matter who is in between you and what your goal is, not dream, your goal, how you would like to live your life, do that. No questions asked. And talking about believe it before you see it, it can. I'm trying to think of an example, like for me, but especially growing up with a family who has that opposite mindset, and the reason that they're preaching it so hard on you is because they care for you. It takes courage and it to follow what your belief system is, to know that you are capable and that you're not going to take any risk going down that road, right? And I'm sure you have something to say about that because you did that before I did, because you what year did you, was it junior year
When I went
that you
dropped out basically?
Yeah.
Nah, I finished junior year at Pioneer, but then senior year I went to the continuation school.
Oh, okay.
But in terms of like not doing schoolwork and telling my family I was gonna do something different because I am different, that started in like 3rd grade. That's when I really started questioning everything and like, why? Lucas, do your homework. Why? Lucas, you need to know this. Why? What am I gonna know for? I don't want to do that. I want to be a pro skateboarder. Lucas, you need to know geometry. Why?
Why?
Kami waifu.
Why? Tell me why.
So I don't know. I just always like.
You're like, I'm going to shoot you, Mom.
The parent-teacher conferences. I already cussed, bro. Whatever.
Now because you want to do the voice, huh?
Now
I want you to do it.
I'm not gonna do it.
Do it.
No,
dude, you do it good. Do it. Dude, you did it perfect on the last one.
Tommy, I'm going to fucking shoot you, man.
And then your teacher's like, no, I just want to. Okay, don't do your homework then.
Teacher, I'm going to fucking shoot you. Yeah, so like, I mean, in the 3rd grade is really when I started not giving a fuck about school, because I could cuss now. And that's really when I started questioning everything and like, why? But even then, like, I don't know. We've both talked about this in other episodes before, that we've both just had like this confidence in ourselves that we were gonna, like, whatever we did, we were gonna be successful in it. So it was never like you could have told me anything as a kid, like, oh, you can't be a 7-foot NBA player.
Yeah,
I'd be like, watch me.
I believed at one point in my life I was like, I'm gonna play basketball professionally. I didn't have to be in the NBA, but I believed I was gonna play
be the best in the
professionally.
league. I thought I was gonna be the best basketball player to ever grace.
You're like, Mom, you just gave birth to the future MVP. How do you feel, girl?
You just gave birth to a future #1 pick. And then when I started kind of like not taking basketball serious, and I got into skateboarding in like 4th grade to like 7th, that's when I was like, dude, I'm about to be the best skateboarder this world has ever seen. And then even like honestly in like middle school and high school, I always felt that there was a chance I could go and play professionally somewhere, which I probably could have. We never know. I never explored that. Whether that be overseas or just being the best in the NBA, being
Yeah.
the MVP. I've never been the type of person like, oh, I need to see someone do it before I do it or some craziness like that.
Yeah.
I've always been the type that's like, well, if they did it, I could do it.
Yeah. And yeah, so before we get into more about tactical things and strategies about believe it before you see it, while we're still on the subject of people who don't subscribe to that belief, something that we talked about before we started filming was that typically if you are talking to someone about one of your big goals and they hit you with I'll believe it when I see it, or anything kind of negative, or they hit you with the word anything about like be realistic,
punch them in the face.
Yeah, you typically just punch them in the face or
Fucking
grenade.
shoot them.
Or I said a grenade when I stopped to tie my shoe. He
And-
did tie your shoe.
He's Tommy Shelby. You're acting like a fucking child.
Whenever you hear anything about be realistic, that is typically just somebody externalizing their own insecurities and their own self-beliefs
I was gonna
or
say that.
self-limitations. So, and that's really, once you become aware of that, that is really, really easy to spot in everyday life. Whether it's somebody externalizing why they feel like shit that day. It's very easy to see their thought process once you become aware of that. Even away from goals, which is what we're talking about. Somebody externalizing, like let's say if one small thing happens and that person is still talking about it an hour later, that is them externalizing their insecurities. That's if it's still on your mind, you really have no other reason to feel good right now, to feel grateful. You have nothing else better to talk about, or like you are really leeching onto. Some people are leeches for negativity, and they will literally hold on to any opportunity that they can to bring negativity into their life and use it as a way to feel like they belong. Like, oh, we can relate because we both go through negative things and we're both not happy and F this world and politics and stuff like that. And those are the same people that are going to set expectations and set limits on you. Those are definitely people that if you are subscribing to this belief and you are on a journey to manifest, to bring the internal to the external, whether your goals for anything, you absolutely need to rid your conscious, to rid your brain, to rid your circle of people who are going to be going against the grain. Meaning if you're subscribing to this and you are going one way, then you continuing to pack on people like this with this mindset is only bringing on more wind as you're trying to go uphill. You're literally just weighing yourself down. I wanted to talk about that before we moved on because that's super important. A lot of we've talked about this multiple times on the podcast, but you are who you hang out with.
Yeah.
Right? So even if you did, and we have a bunch of friends like this, but even if you did have this belief that number one, that doesn't mean shit unless you do anything with it. The law of attraction doesn't work without the law of action. But how much longer do you think you could even hold that belief before you just start to slip into one of your friends' beliefs or all of your friends' beliefs? You literally cannot be the only person that let's say you're making $500,000 a year and all of your friends are making $70,000 a year. And I'm talking about money because let's say that one of your goals is money, like that was your goal.
It's a huge goal for us.
Yeah, and it's a very important, super important part of life. Finances is an energy. Money is an energy.
Yeah. Everyone has like a negative connotation with it. That is the devil.
I was gonna talk about that too. That's another
stupid
belief. But how much longer do you think that you can keep up that 500,000? It's not the money, it's the work ethic, it's the knowledge, it's the practice, it's the skill set that got you to become the kind of person that earns that income and that lives that life. And if you are around people that are living at such a lower vibration, how much longer do you think you can handle it going against the wind when you're literally just giving them fuel to go against you? Do you have anything else to say about that? I know we both have friends that can subscribe to
No,
that. Well, old friends.
Now we talked about it on the podcast before,
Yeah.
like having friend groups of like leeches and
Right.
being leeches of time. I just wanted to say that, like you said, in your friend group, if you have 500,000 and you're making 500,000 and your friends are making 70,000, there's gonna be like a little bit of resentment towards you within that
that
group
too.
because when you're like in friend groups like that, say there's like 10 of you and the 9 of them are making 70,000, you're making 500,000. Once you start to like deviate the path from what everyone else is doing, they're gonna be like, oh, so now you think you're better than us, or they're just gonna start coming up with like these impressions of you. I think is the word I'm trying to think of.
Yeah.
That probably aren't even true. Like you could be the exact same person, but whenever something comes up, like say you might want to take a week trip to Bali or something because you're making 500,000, but they can't. They're gonna be like, oh, why would you even like ask us about that? You know we can't afford it. Like, and then they're just gonna get on your case about it. And this also because, like, say you're all starting at zero, and you say you want to do entrepreneurship so you can make millions of dollars, and they start telling you, no, you can't do it, you can't do it. It's because that's their own insecurity, and they want the people around them to not outshine them, like tenfold. You know what I mean?
Not only that, they want the people around them to make them feel better about themselves.
Exactly. And so once you start to do what everyone else isn't doing, it makes them feel worse about themselves. So then that's what creates the resentment towards you.
Yeah. And Robert Greene, I just saw a podcast between Robert Greene and I think it was Patrick Bet-David, or it was Lewis House. I don't remember. Robert Greene came from Robert Greene, but they did an experiment, and it really beat your own friends. But they did an experiment, and whenever. So, like you said, when there's situations where somebody is outdoing the other person, even if it's your friends, and they did an experiment, and they said it was even applied to some like loved ones, but when when the person that was, I guess you could say less, or if the other person had something a little bit more, whatever, doing a little bit better in a different subject of life, different opportunity. When something bad happened to that friend, the friend that heard about it, literally like a split of a second, they let out a super tiny smile. Like it happens, like it's in our subconscious, and it happens like in a half of a second. You can't catch it with the normal human eye unless you're built different like me.
And me.
They literally smiled, like they were happy to learn about that misfortune, about that specific friend.
So now they're back down on their level, or what?
Yeah, and so that's what I mean. Like a lot of it is just social conformity. Like they need other people to think like them, look like them, be like them, for them to feel like they are like right or good or on the right track. Really just for them to be affirmed that the other person is less than. And like what did you, oh yeah, so, and talking about money as an example, that's another really good subject, talking about believe it before you see it, especially in, like we talked about, when families are preaching college, school, and if you bring up something that's strayed from that path, that's one of the first things. Oh, be realistic, right? What's like, who else has done this? Or go to school anyway. Why? Because there's less risk.
Just be safe.
Be safe. So typically when people can't believe it before they see it, it's, you can really see how much someone does believe by how much risk they're willing to take. And an example that we all have heard of before is Plan B. Go to school anyway. Why? So everybody needs a Plan B. What do you think about that? What do you think about Plan Bs? Spit it on them.
I
Spit on
think
them.
they're
Give them
only
a.
made to be eaten. Know what I mean?
Yep.
Shit, man. Nah, I just think Plan Bs are like a defense mechanism, more so than they are actually like a backup plan.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've talked about this on the podcast before, but I think when you have that Plan B, it's you already have a feeling you're gonna fail at whatever it is you're doing, so you already have this set up just in case, because you already know you're gonna fail. It's not a if I fail, it's when I fail, I'll do
Right.
this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. So you could really dude, see the draw. It's not gonna. You could really tell how strong someone believes in themselves by how much they risk. If they're not willing to risk a lot, then they probably don't believe in themselves. If they kind of put like half-ass their effort into this practice, then they probably really didn't believe that they can do it anyway. One of my I already said it earlier in today's episode, but I got this from my mentor, one of my early mentors, and he said that the formula for success, I believe it was, one of them was attitude, having a good attitude. One of them was doing the right thing, and then I think the next one was doing the right thing as in when I say doing the right thing, I mean like performing the right action. So like doing actually, putting the formula into practice. So like, for example, for this podcast, the formula for having a successful podcast would be have a good quality product, and to continue to put out content for the algorithm, right? Stuff that's what I mean. So having a good attitude about it, the right action, and I think the next one was consistency, to do the right thing long enough for you to actually see the fruits of your labor, to actually see it come to reality. And you, at the same time, you still cannot be so attached to the time frame to the point where your expectations are becoming lower and lower and lower, because you can't really control when something is going to happen for you. You can just trust that if you continue to believe it before you see it, eventually the universe and reality is going to catch up to your goals, to your actions, to your plans. So do you have anything to say about that?
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So applying this, what else do we want to apply this to? And this, so I have life, I have relationships, business, in anything. So if you have a plan B for, an example, relationships or business or in anything, then there's no way that you are going to go 100%. That's where the saying comes from, put your back against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Or even examples or stories of people that have done incredible things when their back was against the wall, when it seemed like this is the last time and I'm going all out, and after this I am done, like I'm dead in the water, everything is over. And it just happens to be that that's the time that they win, that they succeed, because their back was against the wall. They literally had to win. Andy Frisella says that I don't care what cards I'm dealt, any day, any month, any year, at any point in my life, I'm going to win. And you have to have that mentality. And I wanted to talk about this that you brought up earlier, that you said you always had that belief in yourself. And you have to have that. I really wanted to talk about that because it's necessary. How can you believe in something before you can see it? And even on top of that, how can you believe in something that your loved ones around you don't believe in if you don't have that confidence? It's borderline arrogant, borderline selfish, borderline narcissistic confidence that only you know and that everybody else doesn't, that you can do something
Just roasted me into oblivion.
that's
right
out of the normal. I'll call it. You're like, oh shit, I'm a narcissist. Oh shit, I'm selfish. Oh shit. No.
This is my wake up call? Is this an intervention?
Yeah, but that's. I think it was. I think it's Robert Greene again that said. Actually, I think it was Tony Robbins that said you have to have a certain level of confidence and self-belief and that feeling that you can do anything and that you can come back from anything and you will come back stronger and you will win, in order to do something that requires you to believe it before you see it. Because if that's not the case, how on earth are you going to put these things into action when you keep failing, falling, not
Like,
succeeding?
What's the point in working towards something that you don't believe in?
Exactly.
Like, if you don't believe that you could get 10,000 followers on Instagram, what's the likelihood of you putting your 100% effort day in and day out to get those 10,000 followers? And that's just something that could be applied to anything. No one's going to work towards something they feel they can't achieve. It's just human nature. There's no point in working towards something that you're never going to see. Like, there's no point in me working to be 7 feet because I'm never going to be 7 feet. So why would I even, like, try that?
Yeah. And yeah, that just brought
Unless
up
I just get built different by tomorrow or something.
that just brought up my memories of our friends that have shared their goals with us that just don't put things into action.
Yeah.
And it's the truth. I mean, I think if you could take anything from this episode, it would be a series of questions. And it was a series that you just said your sentence in. Ask yourself.
I also just want to ask the question real quick. For those of you who do have these big dreams but feel that you can't, like, you don't believe in yourself, that you don't believe that you could achieve them, why don't you believe in yourself? Is it something that you genuinely feel that you can't do? Or is it a belief that has been put upon you by, like, your family members or your friends? I just wanted to ask that question real quick.
Yeah, I think that's a really important question to ask before I was even going to say mine. And we asked another very important series of questions on our last full episode, which you need to listen to. I think they were from Tony Robbins, when I said that you have to ask yourself a series of questions before you achieve anything. And one of them is exactly, what do you want? Before you could achieve anything, I think it's, what do you want, how, and why? Because you can't go anywhere without knowing where you're going. Hence the what do you want.
That's why whenever Bailey leaves his house, he has to hit me up and be like, yo, how do I get here? Because he never knows
I am
where
terrible
he's
with
going.
directions. And the second one is
It's not even
what?
It's not even just directions. Sometimes you just straight up don't know where you are.
Yeah,
Like,
well, of course I'm not gonna know where I am in an area I've never
no, like,
drove
if you
to
have
before.
directions, you could follow them. But if, like, you were left to, like, try and find us somewhere to get, like, even somewhere you've been to before, you're like, is it this, or do I go that? Am I supposed to be over there?
That's because I'm always using my GPS. Because I always know where I'm going, baby. Because I'm a narcissist now. Just kidding.
But for me, it's like, if I go somewhere once, I could pretty much find my way there next time.
Yeah, well, I'm just built different.
In a bad way.
So the three questions is exactly, what do you want? How are you going to get there? And why? And right now we're talking about the what do you want? Right now we're talking about, do you even believe you are capable of getting that what do you want? And I think a very easy series of questions that I was going to share to understand that is, what is it that you tell yourself? Like, what is it that you tell yourself what you want? I got this one from Dean Graziosi. What is it that you tell yourself what you want? Do you want to be a speaker? Do you want to be a professional athlete, artist, whatever? And why aren't you that right now? The next series of words that come out of your mouth, that's the bullshit story that you are telling yourself that is keeping you from getting there. Period. You need to think about that question. You need to write that down. Whatever story comes out, whatever series of sentences, excuses, that is the only thing, that is the story that you are telling yourself that is keeping you from believing, that is keeping you from achieving, that is keeping you from moving forward and progressing to exactly what can happen in your life. And you have to be sure that that's exactly what you want. Either way, I think it's way better to achieve something and realize that you didn't really want it, rather than to just have a bunch of these what ifs and never go after anything. There's you, all the respect belongs to the person who's in the ring, who has the gloves on. So you have to get in the ring. So it would definitely be, ask yourself that question. It's necessary for everybody that desires to have any ounce of happiness in their adult life and future life. The worst thing that could happen to you is to be on your deathbed, which is what we talked about, and to wish that you had more time or that to want to go back. I think the other question that I thought was really important was other than the story was to really, other than the bullshit story that you would be telling yourself, is to think why that. So really go in on that second question, why. If your why isn't strong enough, it's possible you could be going for the wrong thing. It's possible, and if you're going for the wrong thing, that could be for a few different reasons. That could be because somebody else put that thought in your head, like your parents, school, wanting you to do school, wanting you to be a nurse, whatever.
Maybe even your teachers put that in your
Yeah,
head.
one of your teachers.
I heard it more from my teachers than anything else. 'Cause I was the kid in school that was, teacher would say, if you keep doing this, you're going to be at McDonald's. Teacher actually told me that too.
And you're like, I'm gonna fucking shoot you,
I
bitch.
said, if I work at McDonald's, I'm going to set a grenade in your classroom.
I'm going to set a
You got to talk
grenade
super quiet because that's how Tommy talks.
in your burger. Blow that ass up.
When you order a Big Mac, I will drag it across me nuts.
But 100%. I haven't said 100% all day today.
100%.
Or did I?
Probably have.
100%.
you have.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why you could have the wrong why. You have to really, 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 really analyze, meditate, and sit on it. Isolate yourself. I keep saying this. This is probably the biggest lesson I've learned in my entire life. I would be nowhere without isolation. Isolation is a gift. Isolation is necessary. All of these stories that we talked about today of people who believed it before they saw it, all of that happens in isolation, grinding in the dark so you could shine in the light. You have to have time. If you are not having time to yourself, you're not going to be able to understand. You're going to become a person that you don't even know. You're going to become a person that you believe is only there when you're around other people. So when you're by yourself, you're not even going to recognize who you are. And that's why some people need to be around other people. Some people need to leech onto a relationship. They need to find their happiness with other people. And you cannot do that and find your happiness inside of yourself, inside of achieving and progressing and becoming who you want to be, if you couldn't even figure that out in the first place. So, super important that you think about this, isolate yourself, and realize that it's okay to make mistakes. Not only is it okay, but that's expected. This archetype of person that we're talking about that isolates themselves, that has incredible self-belief, that self-belief is there so they could lean on that when they do fail. It's expected that they're gonna fail. They are excited to fail because when they fail, they literally just got a blueprint on what not to do and what we could do so that we could win the next time, so that we could win tomorrow or the next call or the next year, the next quarter, whatever, no matter what it is. But so, I mean, you just have to ask yourself, what's the biggest risk to you? Is it a bigger risk to you to, for your family, your friends, your coworkers, social media, to see that you fell down a couple times and that you fell down 5 and couldn't get up 6, that you at the end of your life wish you had more time, wish you had more balls, wish you took a different route, wish you spent more time to yourself so that you can become something different? Or is it worth it to you to spend that time by yourself, figure out who you are, what do you want, why were you put on this planet, and sacrifice all the other shit that doesn't even really matter, that isn't going to matter to you when you're minutes away from meeting your maker, so that you can meet your maker and realize that I became exactly who this person made me to be. And that's because of me. That's because I spent that time by myself. I asked myself the right questions. I challenged myself. I fell down 5 and I got up 6. Motherfucker.